Hi guys, just a bit of a short introduction to the video today is going to be on Bitspawn. I did a live AMA with Bitspawn Protocol and we had Eric, the CEO, come in. Awesome dude. It was actually really genuine and he's just come home from holidays, so managed to sneak away with his wife before they get locked down in Canada. So it was, yeah, it's a trying time this day and age, but it ties us all into gaming and all of that, and it's kind of a very awesome interview. Lots of cool things to learn. One thing worth mentioning is you may have to come back to it, but we do talk about the coins and the price disparity. I should have checked this on stream, but it was awesome being able to watch the video afterwards to make sure I'm putting out the right information. And you can see there's a huge difference between Spawn on Uniswap and on Radium. So for me, I wouldn't know how hard that would be to send across and whether there's any differences and capabilities. I think the numbers mentioned was somewhere around 90 million of the 440 million available coins are on Solana out of the 2 billion total. So I hope you guys really enjoy, and thank you, Mother, for the rabbits.
Yeah, so my background, I've been in blockchain space since 2015, working as a blockchain consultant, analyzing crypto assets. Worked for a company out of Singapore in 2018, and then in 2019 I wrote the white paper for Bitspawn. And during 2020 was when we built the first alpha version of it on Ethereum and grew it to about 10,000 users. The reason why I came up with the idea for Bitspawn is I have a background in the early 2000s to 2010s as a amateur competitive gamer. So I used to play a lot of MLG gaming with titles mostly just Halo and Call of Duty. And I've used a lot of the solutions that are out there, the legacy solutions that are out there for online competitive esports, and they really don't provide any um, benefits to gamers in terms of monetizing. I mean, um, professional esports is well developed, but the mid-level semi-pro scene as well as the amateur scene, which consists of tens of millions of players, is still kind of an afterthought. So for the existing solutions that are out there, players are kind of at the mercy of the platforms and don't really have control over how they're able to monetize their experiences through their abilities. So the idea through Bitspawn is to utilize blockchain payments for ensuring that players get paid out in a timely fashion, aren't scammed by tournament organizers. And then the second component is really about aggregating gaming data into smart contracts that can be utilized for a number of use cases, whether it be aggregating player stats, gamification and progression, producing marketplaces, forming communities, or even the side of actually developing blockchain-based assets in video games. So yeah, we started on Ethereum, but we ran into the scalability bottleneck that pretty much everyone's run into on Ethereum. So instead of us focusing on either building our own layer 2 scaling solution or working with a layer 2 scaling partner, we got introduced to the Solana ecosystem end of 2020 and really liked what they were building and decided to take the plunge into the ecosystem and been supported by their end, and it's been a great transition thus far. And we think we can build a lot of gaming assets and tools into the Solana ecosystem and really be the first gaming infrastructure platform there. In terms of the team or the rest of the team, we have 4 co-founders. So myself, the founder, and then 3 other co-founders. We have Reese Bullinger, who's our COO. He has been in the blockchain space since 2016. I met up with him on working on some projects back then, but he's been an internet entrepreneur for about over a decade now, working on lead generation and growing online businesses. So he's great. And then we have Lucas Kamandoulis, our CMO. He's really good at generating engagement across all platforms, would be community, socials, brand awareness, partnerships, that type of thing. He's worked with large companies and even worked with Snapchat and TikTok as direct clients. He's also a gamer. I mean, our whole co-founding team is consisting of gamers. And then we have our CTO, Alex Lan. He's been in the blockchain space since 2017. He was the co-founder of One Ledger blockchain, which was enterprise grade blockchain solution that he designed himself. His gaming background consists of helping grow the Dota community in China a few years ago. And yeah, his other project net right now is called Stratos, which is a decentralized internet protocol. So yeah, that's the consistent of myself, the co-founders, and the vision of Bitspawn. Really, what we've done this far.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I've had a bit of a read. You guys have got a huge history of the gaming, and I mean, it's even worth mentioning your Friday afternoons. You're playing your Warzone, is it at the moment in the afternoons?
Yeah. So I still play Warzone. I mean, we like right now we play it through Bitspawn, but prior I'd play in tournaments outside of Bitspawn. So Warzone right now is definitely my game. I like the battle royale format. It's something that I know has kind of been overdone the past few years, but it itches that part of competitive part of me that really enjoys gaming in that setting. So
Yeah, I know. Over at Grape, they've got a Warzone event on tomorrow, I believe. That they've had them previously. It's funnily enough, I personally haven't played a first-person shooter since Soldier of Fortune 2. So it's been a long time since I've been in that kind of first-person shooter. I need to really get back in there.
yeah, yeah,
But
they've changed a lot.
I've got several pages open that I'll go through. Can you explain the difference between your Bitspawn.gg site and your Bitspawn.io?
Yeah, so the Bitspawn.gg site is our flagship platform that showcases what the Bitspawn protocol can provide in terms of features. So it's really about showcasing what we're able to do. The .io site is more or less just the foundation site showcasing the protocol, what its intent is, partners, exchanges, that type of thing. But our Bitspawn GG platform is our beta. We're building out all of our initial tools into that platform. And then once it hits a certain stage of maturity in terms of development, we're going to be opening our software development tools so that our community members and developers can generate their own marketplaces, apps, widgets with the data and APIs that we provide through our protocol.
Yeah, so it's all very much for you guys getting it set up then as well. So you've obviously got your war zones, the first ones on your bitspawn.gg. You can have a bit of a read through as well, and I do notice you've got a lot of blogs in there about other games. And one interesting one for me was seeing the every Call of Duty franchise there. So you've got, is that access to every single COD game that's going to be available on Bitspawn?
Yeah, so we'll have support for Call of Duty Vanguard, but the we have access to the Call of Duty API, not in a full integration, but in a partial integration. So we're able to read the results and stats from that game based on players' input of their gamer tag. So on the Bitspawn platform, players can load up their Xbox gamer tag, BattleNet, or PlayStation name, and it syncs to their profile. So yeah, we can accommodate all the Call of Duty games. Some of the other games that we have full access API read write capability or Counter Strike, Dota 2, and we just got access to Apex Legends as well through EA. So that's going to be exciting for October. We're going to start running tournaments there directly with Apex Legends and their formats for EA's global series.
That's awesome. So, is the plan to concentrate on the heavy hitters at the moment, or are you trying to build out a library of also old games as well? So, consider your Westwood Command and Conquers, your RTS, how that all sort of your Blizzard games. There was a lot of real-time strategy games like that. Is there a possibility of that, or you want to stick to the big heavy stuff now and then get into potentially blockchain games, Solana games that are coming out?
Yeah, so initially it was about hitting the most popular games at the moment to cater towards the largest player bases. So those being your battle royales and your popular first-person shooters. But we have our tournaments feature, which is not necessarily have to do with the game API data, so we can accommodate any game. It would just be players being able to organize their own tournaments, but in terms of the data feeds, they wouldn't be there. So there is going to be a manual input component, but it our platform does allow anyone to create any type of event they want for any game. It doesn't necessarily have to be a traditional esports tournament with the ladder system. It could be say a score race or a speed race game if you're running through a raid in an MMO or something like that. You can do all those formats within our platform. Like we started off as an esports platform, but we really wanted to tackle social gaming and allow players to monetize their abilities within just a social gaming environment. And that's what we're expanding to. So yeah, at the initial step, first stage was AAA titles with the most popular games. Second stage is expanding out to some of the Western-owned titles and accommodating dozens of games. And then there's third stage is integrating into blockchain gaming. And what we want to do there is start to or be the main network or protocol that facilitates competitive environments for NFT games. So we're starting out with Solana games first, but we're a multi-chain project and we want to be compatible with some of the Ethereum titles for NFT games as well. But yeah, for 2022, that's going to be a big push for us is to provide competitive components and gamification for NFT games.
And then talking about the Solana game specifically, are there any platforms that you've managed to have early communications with that there's a possibility of linking up?
Yeah, we have an early stage one that we're going to be announcing the first week of October in terms of an NFT game. It's very cool. It has good branding, and we like what they're doing. So they have a good following and community, and we're excited to announce it October 1st. But I can't say
No, no,
anything at this time.
that's understandable. That's good. I think October is going to be a super big month. I've gone down the rabbit hole of looking at Solana gaming, and no matter how much I spend time, it's never enough time. There's so many new games coming out, and there's so many new games coming out that you haven't heard about. They're coming out with games. Cryo War was a good example, and that's been producing for 3 years. And I found out about this 2 weeks ago. They're hitting the stage pretty heavy. But what about other platforms within the Solana ecosystem? Are there things like linking up with media, only one fans, anything like that? Great protocol, things that are already out there for the communities.
Yeah, there's pushes on initiatives. Like for us, we were heavy on development right after our token sale, and we just want to get the our current platform out to a certain feature set before really expanding into growing the ecosystem because we want to make sure that people have can find value in actually using what we have. So for us, there's a multitude of different things we want to engage with, whether it be media platforms, staking platforms, DeFi in terms of one of the things we're exploring and doing with Bitspawn is liquidity for gamers. What that essentially means is people can lend out crypto assets to gaming communities to run events and they would earn interest on that. So DeFi platforms, staking platforms, media platforms, as well as um, any type of NFT platform in the Solana ecosystem is really what we're looking for.
Yeah, you talk about there's a couple of points there to touch on, I guess. Proof of respawn. I keep seeing that in some of the documentation. Could you talk a little bit on what proof of respawn is?
Yeah, so proof of respawn is a rewards and progression mechanism to be utilized on Bitspawn, and it's not really a consensus mechanism. So for us, like we're built on Solana, so we don't need a consensus mechanism. But in terms of uh, controlling the spawn token ecosystem, it's going to be run solely on proof of respawn. And essentially what that is it's based on participating in the network. You get rewarded. So whether it be through playing games on the platform, building applications, hosting events, creating marketplaces, designing NFTs and selling them there, or building your own gaming communities and managing your own competitive teams. The proof of respawn reward mechanism it taps into all of that and basically aggregates um, accelerated reward systems and staking for people that just participate in our spawn network.
Okay, I mean that's a long answer. I love it. So then we see more information from like a um, economics paper in the next.
Yeah, yeah. So by December this year, we'll have a full release of it. But the way I can explain it is just an advanced staking mechanism. So you have standard staking where you have fixed rates. With ours, it's gamified, so you basically have boosts and accelerants based on your participation in the network and the kind of actions you perform within Bitspawn.
And it is worth just saying, obviously I'm doing the video and people will look at this tomorrow, you can actually get your spawn on Radium. I do like how you guys have got the link straight to the permissionless pool. I noticed last week when I first started looking, it was just above 2 cents a coin. Now, what were the stats on that? There was 400 million roughly in circulation with is it 2 billion total?
Yeah, yeah. So we have about 50 million tokens circulating on Solana, and then the rest, sorry, not 90 million on Solana and the rest on Ethereum. There's a bit of a price discrepancy between the two. The token is trading a lot higher on Radium. We're assuming for a community that they just don't like the fees on Uniswap currently, so they're willing to pay the higher price. But over time, we see the two coming together, and as exchanges that we list on accommodate Solana token natively, there won't be so much of a price discrepancy between the two tokens.
I also did notice there was mention of new users potentially being able to use game tokens rather than crypto if they're not comfortable with that early on. Can you elaborate on
Yeah,
that a little bit more?
yeah, so right now we currently have a credit system which is based off of fiat rails. So things that gamers or gamers that haven't used crypto before are used to. So we're using Stripe and PayPal, and those credits can be used in jurisdictions that aren't necessarily friendly to crypto. So gamers can use that, and we kind of want to be agnostic for now in terms of allowing players the best of both worlds. One of our main missions and goals is to really drive crypto adoption through gamers, mainstream adoption there. So again, there's 2 billion gamers on the planet. About 500 million of those consume or participate in esports and competitive gaming in some way. So for us, there's pretty much a quarter of the global population games. And I think that's one of the best ways to get crypto adoption in the mainstream is through gamers. So that's really our end goal with this. But yeah, initially at the outset, people can use a credit-based system or native spawn token. But in the future, we'll accommodate other crypto assets, such as other Solana tokens, stable coins, etc. We're going to be growing that out in the future, just based on our community sentiment.
And then I guess there's going to be some plan for popular streamers to be able to teach people the basics. Is there some kind of plan for that?
Yes. So for us, we're still working on our core feature set. So some of the things that we're working on the pipeline are our teams and community organization feature, and then our first iteration of proof of respawn and staking. So once those are live, we're going to have a heavy push on the marketing side of getting influencers and gaming influencers on board, as well as creating the educational content to make sure that gamers know how to properly use the platform and have a simple and easy experience and don't have the normal headaches associated with crypto and usability.
Yeah, I'm still fairly early myself into crypto, and there's headaches no matter what. You've obviously got years of experience within it, and that's good as well as the gaming side of it. So I love what I've heard so far. Can we talk a little bit, I guess, earning potentials for players? So it's going to be based around, you don't really have an exact fine line to say, well, you want gamers only or you want people that are viewing. You're kind of going for a blanket, giving everybody an opportunity to be able to earn and monetize their time. But what is the potential to be able to, I guess, like a real user case, if they want to play a game for 8 hours or create content, whether it be on your NFT Marketplace, work for a YouTuber, what's going to be the kind of earning capacity there for someone?
So in terms of players participating, you don't necessarily need to win games. The proof of respawn model is designed for participation. So you can essentially earn a multiplier based on the amount of spawn tokens in your wallet for participating in X number of games a week per se. But so for tournaments, obviously, and competitive events, obviously, there's the prize pools that players win. But outside of that, the actual organizers of the events, they get a commission. So right now on Bitspawn.gg, we have a 10% commission payout for tournament organizers. So if you organize a tournament with $1,000 prize pool and it goes through and everyone signs up, you can earn 10% of that prize pool. So $100. And then, but for the marketplace and other components in the network, those will be set by the users themselves. So eventually we want to have dozens of apps integrated with Bitspawn's protocol. And once that happens, users, developers, and players will be able to set their own commission rates and fee structures. And we really just want to give the power back to the users, and Bitspawn itself will just collect minimal fees on that. Network fees, basically.
So you talk about the marketplace there. So more specifically, the NFT marketplace, is there going to be an option for people to obviously create their own NFTs? Are you launching some software with them as well for that?
Yeah, so outside of Bitspawn GG, we're going to be developing a site that's specifically catered towards gaming NFTs. So you have OpenSea, which is the largest NFT marketplace, and it's just a general marketplace that does anything and everything. For us, we want to focus on the gaming niche and provide intrinsic benefits for NFTs for gamers. So people can buy and sell NFTs that have benefits for people on the Bitspawn network. So you can get discount, like NFTs can have real benefits such as discounts to entry fees on Bitspawn events, exclusive access to certain events, increased spawn rewards for staking in your wallet, and redeemable for like real world merchandise associated with teams or influencers that or developers that are on the Bitspawn network.
Sorry, I'm just trying to go through my notes at the same time. What do you think? What have you found so far on Solana to be some of your problems changing from Ethereum to Solana? Was there problems with the coding, with changing to Rust? Have there been other things that you didn't really expect along the way?
Yeah, Rust was the biggest bottleneck due to the fact that it is not a very popular language amongst developers. So it's a very hard, small talent pool niche to go through. Thankfully, our main developers that initially started with us, Alex and a couple other blockchain developers, they're well versed in C++ and Golang, and those two languages are pretty. It's easier to transition from those languages to Rust than say some of the other languages like Solidity. So there's been a bit of a learning curve for our Ethereum-based developers, but we've also through the Solana team, we've gotten access to some of the developers in their pool, and they've been really helpful. So we've kind of solved that bottleneck for the short term, and we're able to bridge over to Solana and hit our milestones of having it as our layer one by the end of the year. But yeah, always going forward, I think the main thing is going to be the Rust factor, because I think it's only used by like 3% of developers in the world or something like that. So don't quote me on that though. I don't know the exact figure. I just know it's a very rare language and not one of the top 10.
Yeah, I don't need to quote you on that. I wouldn't know the statistic myself. It's actually a lot of learning. That's awesome. You've studied into it. We'll go a little bit back to DeFi because I'm just going through my notes, and
Yep.
we've obviously got the permissionless pool in Radium. Are there any plans to open up any other forms of pools on some of the DeFi protocols throughout Solana?
Yeah, we're looking at a lot of the different dexes out there, and we're waiting to get on a few. Right now, Serum has a bit of a bottleneck as they upgrade their user interface. They've postponed any new listings, but we're looking at different dexes as well as DeFi and rewards platforms. So DeFi Land is one that we've been looking at. Great protocol as well. We'd like to work with you guys on that, but we've also applied for Radium Fusion pools and want to do some DeFi elements and staking through there as well. So there's going to be a lot of things coming down the pipeline. It's just right now at the initial outset, we don't want to go too fast into the DeFi and kind of overextend ourselves amongst our community. So yeah.
So if people are watching this and they then get the inkling to go into Radium and swap for some early coins, is there any time, is like a time frame where they might be able to utilize those coins?
Yeah, so the Solana tokens are actually going to be integrate. We're working on the integration into the Bitspawn GG site, so that should be up in the next couple weeks, where people will actually be able to use their spawn tokens for gaming events on Bitspawn. But there's also another incentive coming up is with the NFT game that we're going to be announcing in October. We're going to be doing an NFT giveaway or airdrop to both our Solana token holders and our Ethereum token holders. So those details will be announced in the next couple weeks. So, yeah, there is. So when that happens, the people who have been participating on Radium will be able to be entered into that giveaway or drop.
I like it. A little bit of alpha. Um, you talk about the scarcity through the token in one of your Medium articles. So I guess
Yeah,
I'll give you the floor for that for a little bit to just discuss how you plan on, it was, sorry, was it, I've forgotten the coin numbers now. It's 400 million now, 20 million total? 2 billion,
yeah,
sorry, 2 billion
yeah.
token.
2 billion total supply. So the scarcity element that I allude to is based on the participation in the network, and it's really driven by the community, the scarcity. So with the proof of respawn mechanism, we give ways for players to, again, have reward multipliers based on the amount of spawn tokens they hold in their wallet. So the more spawn tokens you hold in your wallet, the more rewards you get based on participating in events or competing and things like that. As well as with the community side and the community building element of Bitspawn. Each team and community within the Bitspawn ecosystem is going to have a wallet for that community, and that wallet will be able to have staking associated with it. So that's another way to lock up the tokens between individual players and their progression, as well as teams and organizers. And then on the DeFi side, we have the liquidity portion. So people can actually lend out the spawn tokens to gaming groups who want to run events, or even game developers who are going to use those spawn tokens to either monetize their indie games or use those tokens for a funding source.
We've pretty much nailed through most of that. We are breaching the time here.
Yeah.
You've got a huge list of partners there. Is there anyone in particular that you would like to mention or go through, that has been special extra help for coming into Solana and getting you ready for it?
Yeah, so the biggest partner for us right now in terms of technology has been Stratos. So Stratos is the decentralized storage protocol, and what they're going to help with us is develop our NFT structure and system. So they're helping with us on that, and it's going to accelerate our timeline and roadmap by about 4 or 5 months working with them on the NFT side.
All right, I guess yeah, I have forgotten some of the topics, but is there anything you would like to go over at the end for people? We've spoken about how you may have some utilization for coins in the next month. There's a potential chance for airdrops in November for actually getting into the system early. October, we're going to see the first Solana NFT gaming app to link up with you guys, so that'll be cool to see. Is there anything else you would like to go over?
Yeah, just to add on for the October events, the Solana token will be live to be utilized in tournaments by October. Right now, our Ethereum token is utilized across the Bitspawn GG app. But on top of that, we're going to be doing some Solana ecosystem esports events. So based with different Solana projects, we'll run some series and leagues, as well as do our first engagement with Electronic Arts Apex Legends Global Series for that game.
So that's going to
But
be then October as well. Is that with the
yeah,
Apex? Yeah.
yeah, mid to end October, we'll start running events.
Yeah. Wow. So it's going to be a big month for you guys. Um, awesome. Look, I want to thank you. It was really cool at the start. Lucas was super helpful to fire it all off. Like I'm a very small YouTuber myself. It's been super cool seeing how helpful a lot of the community is for Solana. And Lucas was top notch, even for you coming on, doing a live event, being recorded. Yeah, super helpful, and I do wish you guys the good luck in the future.
Thank you very much. Yeah, thanks for having me on. Yeah, we've encountered the same thing with the Solana ecosystem where everyone's there to kind of lend a hand and help each other out and grow. I mean, rising tide raises all ships. So, yeah, it's been great, and looking forward to collaborating with you in the future and great protocol. I think there's gonna be a lot of cool things that we can do.
Absolutely.